Yo, what's up, my buddies? TotalJophes coming at you with my idea on who the Arkham Knight should have been in Rocksteady's Batman Arkham Knight. So first off, for those of you who haven't played Batman Arkham Knight, beware there will be spoilers in this video as I will be revealing the identity of the Arkham Knight. Multiple times, naturally, considering I will be talking about who I think should have been the Arkham Knight. Now, with that out of the way, for those of you who have actually played Batman Arkham Knight and actually gotten far enough in it, you know who the Arkham Knight is by now, and that is Jason Todd, the second Robin. Now, naturally, they do have some pretty decent grounds. They explain it fairly well, you know. He kind of just went a little nutso after being captured and beaten by the Joker, so on and so forth. But, see, here's the problem I have with that. For one, those people that actually know Jason's character knows that he's not a completely bad guy. Granted, he's kind of a dick. He does a lot of shitty stuff, but going so far as to take over all of Gotham and quite possibly kill pretty much everybody in it, that's a little outside Jason's character. He's not that bad. And I mean, it kind of even spits on his character a little because he's, like I said, he's not bad. He's not good. He's an anti-hero. You know what an anti-hero is. They kind of do what they think is right, but they go about it in their own unique ways. Which means it does put him on the opposite side of the law, and it does put him in combat with Batman a lot, sure. But that doesn't make him unnecessarily completely bad guy, though. And everything that the Arkham Knight did in that game really was just straight out evil. And Jason's not straight out evil. Now, when it came to the reveal, anybody that knows Jason Todd's character damn well knew that that was Jason. Now, granted, yes, I do have a much better idea of who it could have been, but it was the easy call to make to think that it was Jason. I mean, come on. He fights exactly like Jason. It was the same damn thing as the story of Under the Red Hood, where some guy wearing a mask comes out of nowhere, starts beating the crap out of Batman, he has no idea who he is, and then he starts remembering Jason, and it turns out to be Jason. And it's like, they've already used that story in Batman Under the Red Hood. They basically just gave him a different costume and gave him a different freaking name. And, I don't know, that really wasn't a good twist in my opinion. But of course, I do have a much better idea for who could have been the Arkham Knight. Now, by now, you're probably wondering exactly who I think could have been the Arkham Knight, who I think should have been the Arkham Knight, and what I will say is that I've got plenty of evidence to back up that this would have fit perfectly. I mean, I honestly don't see why they didn't make it him. But who I think should have been the Arkham Knight is Damian Wayne. Now, for those of you who don't know who Damian Wayne is, he is Bruce Wayne's son, and later the fourth Robin. Now, here's why I think Damian would have made a perfect Arkham Knight. For starters, we have the Arkham Knight's combat ability. Damian was raised and trained by Ra's al Ghul, the leader of the League of Assassins. So, I mean, naturally, that gives Damian a lot, and I mean a lot, of combat ability. And then there's also the fact that, you know, he was trained by Batman, so he does have a lot of Batman's tricks too. Now, granted, the way that I think this would work, he wouldn't have actually met Batman yet. But regardless, the reason why he can work with Batman's abilities so well is because he already has all of that prior training in the League of Assassins. I mean, the guy's super powerful. He is very, very good. But see, here's some reasoning why I think it would fit really well. You remember in Arkham City, which, again, spoilers, Talia dies at the end. Well, in the comics, Talia is actually Damian's mother. She pretty much raped Batman. She drugged him, and yeah, he wasn't exactly quite there as they were going at it, and, well, it ultimately made Damian. Though, they did artificially make him, you know, like a perfect person. Like, they made him genetically perfect, so he would grow up to be absolutely flawless, you know, perfect fit shape, you know, impressive strength and capabilities and whatnot. But since Talia died at the end of Arkham City, I mean, all Ra's had to do was go back home and tell Damian that Batman killed her. which isn't entirely wrong. I mean, no, Batman didn't just kill her, but he couldn't protect her either. And Rage is a manipulative guy. He could very easily twist that to make it sound like Batman was the cause for Talia dying. And Damian loves his mother. I mean, he really does. So if he had never met Batman yet, or even didn't even know that Batman was his father, that would be all the reason that he would need to go over there and try to take revenge on him. Now, again, also throughout Arkham Knight, I kind of thought that they were leading it up to actually be Damian, because Talia did die in the end. And if I remember correctly, there was like a prophecy from Azrael that mentioned something about out of the ashes of Arkham, Gotham will burn. Okay, so out of the ashes of Gotham, meaning Batman's, what he did in Arkham City. So what he did was he couldn't protect Talia, and so because of that, Damian comes trying to seek revenge. And also in Arkham Knight, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but you fight a lot of oddly assassin-like guys. I mean, maybe I didn't play far enough to really understand who they were, but what I'm saying is, it would have been perfect to just explain that those are League of Assassin members. I mean, Damian is the heir to the League of Assassin throne. I mean, he's Ra's al Ghul's grandson. So he would have access to plenty of assassins to bring over to Gotham with him. I mean, that would have made perfect sense, and that's one of the reasons why I honestly thought that they were leading it up to be Damian. Because when I was fighting all of these guys, you know, that are all acrobatic with swords and shit that look like assassins, I was like, oh shit, these are League of Assassin members. Oh man, it would make perfect sense if the Arkham Knight was Damian. Holy shit. Now, obviously, those of you who do know who Damian is probably sitting there going, straight off the bat, Damian is too young. Damian is too small. He couldn't be the Arkham Knight. But see, here's the thing. Arkham Knight and the entire Arkham series, it's not canon into the comics. They have free reign to change a few things here and there. They could have very easily made Damian conceived a little, you know, after Tim was born. I mean, it wouldn't be that crazy to think. They could have just made it so Batman was Batman a little bit earlier, you know, before Tim Drake would have been born, because one of the main things is that Tim Drake is older than Damian. But the Arkham Knight, well, he does seem older than Tim. And when you think about it, that's not even a problem. Because realistically, Tim looks like he's about, what, like 20? Something like that? If you just made Damian like 18, he still could perfectly, easily be the Arkham Knight. He could still perfectly be that size. I mean, with all of the training from the League of Assassins, he could be totally big and buff enough. Not that the Arkham Knight's like seriously big and buff, but you get my point. But he would be the right height, and I mean, it would just fit perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. They wouldn't need to alter the story even that much. All they need to do is just make it so Damian was conceived a little bit earlier, so he's a little bit older. He doesn't even have to be that much older. And honestly, I thought that's what they were doing. Considering that the Arkham series isn't canon to the comics, that they can freely change things. I mean, for instance, the Joker didn't just die from a disease in Arkham City in the comics. That's because they're making their own story, because it's not canon. So they could do the same thing with Damian. I don't see why not. But and see, a lot of things that the Arkham Knight was saying, again, really made me think that it was Damian Wayne. He was saying that he wanted revenge, yada, 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 and I mean, again, if Damian was there to take revenge for his mother dying, it would have fit perfectly. And it would have been a much more shocking reveal, because like I said, anybody that knows who Jason is immediately called that. I mean, I called that. Seriously, within the first hour or two of the game, of the Arkham Knight showing up, I was like, huh, you know, that better not be Jason Todd. I mean, that's the most obvious choice, but they wouldn't just make that the twist, right? I mean, it's so obvious. Lo and behold, they did. They put absolutely no freaking effort into that whatsoever, and honestly, it would have been a lot cooler if they made it Damian Wayne instead. They would have actually put a lot more thought into that. But yeah, to sum it all up, combine the fact that Damian wouldn't know that Batman's his father, that Ra's could have told him that Batman was the cause of his mother dying, that Damian would be going there seeking revenge, age him up just a few years, not that much, just a few years, and voila, we have a perfect Arkham Knight that is way better of a twist than Jason Todd. He's got the combat capability. He's got the lust for revenge against Batman. He's got all the reason to do that. And the thing with Damian is, he would kill. Being trained under Rage, he wasn't against killing, considering that's the League of Assassins thing. They're assassins. They kill. I mean, Damian could have been in such a rage-fueled, revenge-seeking mood that he wouldn't have cared about killing all of Gotham. It's spitting on Jason's character to make him want to kill all of Gotham, but Damian, if he never came to Gotham and never knew that Batman was his father, he could have done that. He really could have. And so I think that just would have worked a lot better. So there you have it, guys. Those are my thoughts on who the Arkham Knight should have been. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Do you absolutely hate Damian Wayne? Do you think that that would have been an amazing twist and that I'm totally right about that? Or hell, did you already think about that and I'm just kind of repeating your thoughts back to you? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to leave a like on this video. See, I want people to know about this because I want Rocksteady to realize that they had such potential to do something awesome there, and they kind of screwed it up. But yeah, leave a like on this video, make sure to subscribe because I will be making multiple videos every single week. And that'd be about it, so until next time, stay pretty, my buddies.